Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Panzer Corps II, an upcoming turn-based war game that's being published by Matrix and Slytherin Games. It's the sequel to the 2012 game Panzer Corps I, and it is the spiritual successor to the SSI series that was very famous in the 1990s, known as Panzer General. This is episode number 7 in my Let's Play series. As I said, the game doesn't come out till March, but this is a preview build of the game that they have provided to YouTubers. And so we're just going to jump right back in. Now, this was all taken from a live stream from my channel from a couple of days back, so keep that in mind. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. I'll just go ahead and jump right into the game. Dunkirk, May 26th, 1940. Do you see how the brilliant plan that unfolds before us? Oh, do you see it now? The brilliant plan that unfolds before us. Your hard-fought diversionary battle across Belgium has drawn out dozens upon dozens of Allied divisions. Now they are all trapped with their backs to the English Channel. Low on supply and ammunition with nowhere to go, now is the time to strike the fatal blow. That kind of rhymed. Creative. Primary objective, capture all victory hexes. Bonus objective, sink all Allied ships. Your main objective is the seizure of Dunkirk, the main evacuation point for the encircled Allied troops. To get there, you will need to fight your way across the Scheldt River, taking these crossings from Ghent to Mauldy. A large concentration of French is digging in at Lille, so you better root them out before crossing the Lys River. The status of the remaining British troops is unknown, so be prepared for anything. Good luck. You watched the video twice, they gone? Well, I certainly appreciate it. Alright, so... Oh, and you've been a subscriber for 2 months. Thanks, dude. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and we've got 300 experience. We have a little bit of room in our core. So I'm going to spend the money to get these guys back up to full strength. It's not that expensive. It doesn't. I wonder if it's cheaper to use elite reinforcements between battles. It kind of seems like it. These guys don't need to, though. They have very little experience. So that one unit, I'll use green experience reinforcements. It's only 43? It's the same price to replace fighters with green as it is elite? Well, why wouldn't I do that? Actually, well, I don't have any more money, so never mind. I was going to say maybe I would use my extra slots by giving elite reinforcements instead of, or over-strengthening units, I guess. Okay, so this battle... We can deploy troops at Antwerp, Brussels, or in the south at Maubeuge. We have to take Lille, Ypres, and Dunkirk. We can also deploy troops at Calais. That's interesting. Do I have any troops over there? I do have one ground unit over here. Or I can deploy air units at Calais. I can't deploy ground units. So I have a couple of non-core units here to the west, but they're definitely going to be too weak to attack frontally at the enemy. So I think what we're going to do in that case, I mean, do we want to drive directly from Antwerp to Dunkirk and then south? We've got 20 turns. Just these are a lot of rivers. If we go through Lille, Ypres, and Dunkirk, we've got to cross the Scheldt River, then we're going to have to cross the Lyles, then we're going to have to cross the Yser before we get to Dunkirk. I'm also curious about placing tactical air forces at Calais to sink the enemy ships. I don't know how that'll impact the actual battle. I think rather than attacking in the south out of Mauld, I'm going to go ahead and attack up north toward Adenauer. Then we'll advance between these two rivers on Lille and Ypres. We could also advance north and take a shortcut away from Antwerp by moving through Ghent and then west toward Dunkirk. So I think that's the best strategy to take. I wish I had some pioneer troops. Those would probably be more effective at this stage. But I don't, so we'll go ahead and place our 2 infantry units here. And then I think we're going to place a ton of artillery down here. Actually, placing some troops in the north would allow us to flank the river line too. So that's not a terrible idea. Having some trucks up that direction would be nice. Alright, so we'll have 3 units in the north. We'll have armor ready to exploit the breakthrough in the south. 1 unit there to block the enemy coming off the river. I wish I could deploy troops to Calais. That would make the scenario so much easier. Alright. Okay, so now we're up to our air units, which are surprisingly far away from the front, and there's no airbase over here. Lille is going to be the first airbase that we get. I guess we'll base in the south. I can always rebase. So that's going to do it for that turn. There's some enemy armor on this side of the river. So we'll hit it with Stukas. Meanwhile, we've detected the enemy air force over here. So we'll go for a 3 to 4 attack on these enemy fighters. We'll go 1 to 4. Badly shot up this enemy fighter before they even had a chance to engage us. These guys can hit these enemy troops. 3 casualties, wow. And this city here, Ghent, is actually unoccupied. So we'll just move right across the river and take Ghent. We've now immediately already got a crossing established. Whoa. Alright, I can now see why maybe you would not flank the enemy up here. There appear to be a large concentration of troops, British troops up here in the north. We're going to focus our artillery on the French troops down here. What is this town? Adenar? Wow, 7 casualties without loss. So we broke across the river on both sides with ease. Racing west. That's a very good start. We seized 2 key river crossings over the Scheldt, 1 river crossing against the Lyles, all on the first out of 20 turns. I'm imagining we are due for some massive counterattacks from the enemy, though. Alright, let's attack this enemy recon unit up front here. We drove it back. Our infantry will pursue and finish it off. It's on the river. So we inflicted some pretty heavy losses on the enemy this turn without really taking any casualties of our own. I'm not going to attack at Mulde across the river there. I'll just maintain a defensive posture there. And I'm not going to attack... Well, 2 to 6 is a pretty good... I will do that. We got 7 to 2. Let's even... We beat the odds. So we badly battered that British infantry unit there, too. Meanwhile, at Calais... Alright, we'll use recon units in the south. I'm going to stay primarily on the defensive here. This way, assuming the enemy doesn't drive west from Dunkirk. I'm guessing we'll have to deal with the Royal Air Force, too, at some point. So the British have a bunch of something over here. Enemy fighters did attack our strategic bombers there. We took a couple of casualties. French armors counterattacking our bridgehead over here. Not very effectively. British counterattack here near Ghent. against our armor, also not very effective. The enemy has multiple anti-aircraft units, which will probably make operating in this theater obnoxious. Oh, that's a lot of enemy air. Holy shit, 6 casualties? No, they're going to shoot him down! I hope that's all they have. Oh my god, we lost 80% of one of our Stukas. We've got to clear the skies! Alright, so... this air unit is actually more experienced. Wait, that's a Stuka. This fighter... move up here and take out this enemy fighter. So 1 enemy fighter gone. Our other fighter, there's a Hurricane here and some French thing here. 3 to 4 versus 2 to 3. I guess I'll go 3 to 4. Man, these are bloody air battles. And that did not actually go over well for us. We also don't have any ground units that are... Why didn't I use my artillery there? That was silly. Alright, so we destroyed that enemy unit. We'll get these guys all across the river this turn. They're exposed when they're crossing a river, Hex. But if there's no enemy resistance, they are kind of getting trapped between 2 rivers, though. We've got a little bit of experience that we can pour into some reinforcements for these air units. So we rebuild some of our experience there. Next turn, hopefully we can take out another one of the enemy fighters. Alright, so we attack those guys. We're going to drive this armor south. They're already encircled, so I'm assuming we'll finish them off. Yep. Okay. British heavy infantry. That's the first we've seen of that. Alright, so there's a lot of blocking troops here in the north, but we're having some success. We're having success in the south as well. I'm not even going to bother spending on reinforcements down there. Meanwhile, my recon car could cross the river to the rear of Lille. That's a Spitfire. So they've got 1 Spitfire, 1 Hurricane, at least, and then another French fighter, a D-520. They've also got at least 1 tactical bomber in the Breguet 693. I don't want to take more bomber casualties. The nice thing about the bombers is because they attack pretty much every turn, and unless enemy fighters are around, lose basically no casualties. You can make them elite really quickly. The problem with them is that they're vulnerable, so if the enemy does attack them and we lose casualties, they're incredibly expensive because they're so good to replace. Very busy turn here. Oh, the enemy went for our artillery there, and actually we intercepted them and inflicted casualties on them. That was nice. Free fighter casualties. Alright, so this French unit and this British unit both have 7 hit points. I guess we'll go for the British is easier. The French must have more experience or something. Part of a star versus no star. Maybe we can get a slightly better result and finish these guys off. 4 to 1. Nice! 3 to 0. There goes one of the British airborne units, or air units, not airborne. Alright, so we're closing in on this French city. I'm wondering if we want to try and cross into the rear of the British over here. Nice. So we overran that French armored unit. Then we attacked this enemy anti-aircraft unit. Good result down there. They've got a lot of infantry to potentially play some havoc. But we'll move this recon unit into their rear and hit their artillery to weaken their defensive line. 4-0. And then we can pull back as well, because apparently recon units can attack and retreat. Now there is a British cruiser, or cruiser. And then there's a Soma, French Soma over here. So they do have some quality armor in our way. We're going to hold our tactical air out for one more turn. We know the enemy has at least 2 more fighters. Let's go ahead and bombard these guys, and we'll go ahead and attack with our infantry, finish them off. No, we didn't. Well, we'll move our heavy infantry up north. Meanwhile, I'll spend some points reinforcing some of these guys. Get these guys across the river. So we destroyed that British armored infantry unit over there. Actually, the Stukas are surprisingly cheap to reinforce. Meanwhile, the British Spitfires continue to strafe our tanks. Oh, why did I do experienced? That didn't matter. Over here near Calais. Krasman, thanks for the follow. There's some Vickers up there. Those should be, like, tearing apart a tin can or something. Alright. Won the turn. Enemy infantry is going to attack our armor, which is in the middle of a river. It didn't actually work out all that badly. Their Soma hit our armor in the flank, did a fair bit of damage there. Their fighters are real good against armor, apparently. I may have to go for some of that tactical air before I go for their fighters. They're murdering that artillery unit. Oh my god, that armored unit is almost dead. No, he's gonna die. We just lost our first casualty in a while. And the Vickers is apparently a pain in the ass. Who would have known? That tin can was very effective that turn. Alright, so it's cloudy. It's going to rain tomorrow. Which actually I think they go first, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Cloudy apparently makes dogfights more difficult. So let's do this. I don't want to spend too much effort on that. How expensive? It's so much money to spend on artillery. So I didn't spend it. All right, so we'll go for the enemy artillery there. Anti-tank gun will fire on us, but getting rid of the enemy artillery, honestly, is more important than getting rid of the anti-tank guns. So we surrendered. We forced them to surrender. That was a very good result there. Get into the rear of these infantry here, force them to surrender maybe, or at least retreat. Okay. Yeah, I can't really take those. I can't afford those kind of casualties. The Vicar's just bad against tanks. Which I guess makes sense. Alright, so we may have broken through in the north on that British position. Let's pull back across the river. Maybe the enemy will chase us. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this turn. We'll see what happens. I guess it's still cloudy, so their air units can still operate. I was wrong. We go first, they go second. So 2 casualties inflicted there against our Stukas. Their tactical bombers hit our tanks, although they don't do much damage there. That was a surprisingly inactive turn. Okay. We'll keep harassing their rear with our armored cars. Alright, let's take out their anti-air. Uh-oh. Oh, I was going to say I was going to run into an ambush, but apparently not. Can I shoot anything? Or can I get him with anything? No. Guess the infantry will have to finish him off next turn. All right. So we've got the objective here. We've still got to take Lille, Ypres, or whatever. We've turned their flank in the north, I think. Overwhelmed a bunch of British units. Now, they may still have a bunch more. And seeing as it is the off turn, I'm going to spend a bunch of my points reinforcing these guys with elite reinforcements, at least one of them, to get them back to OP, because at 14 they're going to be so OP that they should be able to just cripple an enemy air unit in a single attack, and then the other unit can come in and kind of mop up. Meanwhile, I'm going to try and move these guys toward the coast to take these Belgian cities and move on Dunkirk directly. Okay. 5162. I don't know. I don't really want to take those casualties. The Soma moves up and attacks our tanks. What was that, 3-2? I'm okay with that result. But our infantry here between these two rivers are getting just butchered. Which I guess makes sense when you're caught between two rivers. That's a bad tactical situation to be in. Oh, shit. They moved armor into my rear? And took this airfield? Well, it's a chance to destroy an enemy unit, I guess. That's the way I'll look at it. Lost another unit there. Good infantry unit, I think. Alright, it is sunny again. There are enemy fighters in this area, and we're going to use our overstrength fighter. Really, 3-5? I'd hoped for a little bit better. Just fewer losses is what I was really hoping for. Well, we got 6-3. And then we finished it off. Nice. I don't want to take those 3 casualties, though. So I'll go for 1-1. Just to hold the line. So we finish those guys off. Okay. So now we're advancing on the rear of Lille. Alright, I think next turn we'll be able to operate our air units largely independently. But I do need to take an airfield. I really need to take the airfield near Lille. So I can rebase a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and hit these guys. I think there's still 1 British fighter left. Oh, I should have bombarded them first. I forgot I had that artillery available. Then we can move our air forces west to Calais as we're driving to the coast. But I gotta retake the airbase too. That's a pretty big loss, actually. Because I was stupid. Oh, now they're invading. They're gonna retake the city! Shit! They decided full-blown to cross the river. No. I don't know if that's an objective you have to hold. It doesn't look like it. Hey, look, we're gaming the system again by getting free reinforcements, though. Or free prestige by retaking a city we should have held in the first place. Whatever. It's not an objective. We lost it and it doesn't matter. Which is kind of silly because I guess you should have to hold it, I would think. Okay. Alright, so there's enemy bombers here. The fighters are further west. That's actually going to be a tactical disaster if I lose that base. Although, I guess when we retake Lille, it shouldn't matter as much. Okay. Really can't afford to take the 3 casualties there. I'm already too bloodied up. Alright, so we drove those infantry back in front of this British city here. And then forced them to surrender. Good result. Okay, we'll move the infantry up. We've got a lot more room in the north here to move. Don't I have another artillery unit I'm forgetting about somewhere? Did it get destroyed? I don't think it... Oh, no, it's up here in the north. Alright, so we'll take this city along the coast next turn, and then we'll move toward Dunkirk. I'm guessing there's like a wall of infantry between us and Dunkirk. Okay, so move forward to turn number 8. The enemy is shifting their focus against our recon car, which is exactly the point. That unit doesn't matter as much because, again, it's not a core unit, so I can't carry it forward battle to battle. Oh, no, they surrendered! Oh, is that a... Matilda! Shit. And I don't have any air power up there because they're too far from my bases. The British tanks are going to drive south now to this other base. More British air power? How many goddamn Spitfires do they have? Alright, I get a little bit of prestige, though, for taking that. That is definitely something I think they need to fix with the game. They need to figure, before it releases, they should definitely not give you prestige for taking a city you already have taken. So there are still large numbers of enemy air units around. Okay, so we overran them. Took this base, we get a little prestige for doing that. Move these infantry this way. Jesus, they're so dug in. Just trying to overwhelm the Matildas. We did drive them back, though. Okay. It's cloudy, too, so the air is less effective. I can't make it over to those airfields either. Although I did just retake this airfield, I'm sure they'll retake it in the next turn or so. Also, I didn't realize my armor was down to 1 health point. He's dead next turn. Apparently when you overrun, you can also reinforce. That's interesting. Alright, we'll move forward to turn number 9. Feels like we've hit a little bit of a wall. 3-1, yikes. I'll take 2-2. I drove our armor back there. Meanwhile, that infantry... Someone's gonna die. They retook the airfield and finished the armor off in Calais. Okay. Three to 8. Those are good. Actually got 3 to 9. Nice. All right. So we took our first objective there. That's great. Now we can drive on Dunkirk. All these damn rivers get in the way, though. Okay, so first objective out of the way. Fly fighter cover over here. We really need the airbase, though, in the south at Lille, which still feels like we're a little ways away from taking. There's no airfield up here. Yeah, there's nothing closer. You guys arguing about Hearts of Iron in the chat? Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Alright, so they're moving their flak down that way. Their armor flanks. They encircle themselves, so they have a good opportunity to go after our artillery, and they take it, which is understandable, but they also, in doing that, get themselves surrounded, which feels a little bit silly. Meanwhile, we just lost the city of Calais. So there's another port they can retreat from now, by the way. There's an airbase in Dunkirk, yes, that's true. Although I think I'm even further from taking that city. Alright, although with them moving their... Oh, crap, it's raining again. These guys are on a river now, so I can attack them. I think we just got them to surrender. Nice! Alright, there goes an enemy armored unit. Alright, 1 to 3, 0 to 2. I don't like the idea of leaving my armor on a river, so I won't. I guess I'll put my infantry on the river. Come in behind these anti-tank guns and hit the rear of Lille. These guys are so experienced, but I need the strength. All right. So I think next turn we're going to pound the hell out of the 10th British Infantry here, trying to force our way across the Yser toward Dunkirk. AGBYU, thank you very much for the follow. Doing this mostly without air power. Not because I can't. Like, I could be using my air power. I could. Except for the fact that I don't want to take the casualties because it's too expensive to replace. Alright, the enemy attacks us on that river line. Oh, I forgot about the troops over there to the west of the river. Well, at least it ate up a couple of British infantry units, diverted them west. I wonder if Calais is a secondary objective or something. Alright, their armor's swinging back from Calais. I think these are the tanks that were in Calais. It's cloudy. Ghost Army 8, thank you very much for the follow. All right. So... Alright, so we took this bridge. We can now cross it. Take that Belgian town here, get a little bit more prestige. I think Lille will fall in the next couple of turns. I'm just worried there's a lot of strength here that they could counterattack with. Especially that Matilda. I've got a lot of artillery in the north, but that's probably not going to hold off a ton of strength. Let's do this. We've got 180 points. We could buy a captured unit. Panzer II anti-tank. Any mobile anti-tank? Well, 180 would be good enough for some infantry. Go with some pioneers. I should wait till next turn when I can get some transport with them. Their flak isn't doing a ton of critical damage, which is nice. That infantry is going to attack our artillery, isn't it? At least our other artillery supported them on the defensive there. We lost a lot of suppression. Attacking across the river against our troops who are in the river. Uh-oh. Why didn't you retreat? Don't die. Run away. Shit. Heroic defense. I don't care if you had a heroic defense. Don't be stupid. Okay, so we're driving that armor back. We'll finish those tanks off and overrun them. Nice, so we overran them, so not only did we win the battle, but we can also spend money on reinforcements. Just what I wanted. Alright, let's knock these anti-aircraft guns out. We'll push this infantry back. Well, they're encircled. We drove them back. We retook that city. Get some experience from that. Spend some of the experience. Alright, let's pull these infantry back here. We're going to hit these guys hard. They're in the river. 0 to 4. 0 to 3. They surrendered! Nice! Okay. So, we are now threatening Dunkirk. We're across the river with our infantry here. Presumably, they will shift forces to the east here now that we're threatening the city directly and maybe stop their drive south to retake that objective here. Can I bomb? I can try and bomb the enemy anti-aircraft. We'll see if that is effective. We didn't lose any casualties. I'll take that. I'll try and finish off that infantry. We'll go ahead and we'll bombard this city. So we'll finish that unit off. We did lose some casualties there. The enemy anti-aircraft did strike home, killing 1 unit. We'll fly our fighters out here to make sure we've got cover over our bombers in case the enemy fighters show up. Because we know there's at least 2 enemy Spitfires somewhere. And I think that'll do it for the turn. Their anti-aircraft fire doesn't actually kill anything, so that's a good result for us. No, they went after my weaker tank. Why are you still attacking me? Alright. That's a pretty good suppression there. Let's reinforce this artillery. I don't know how important experience is for artillery, like how much better it really makes them. 0 to 3. 0 to 5. Okay. Three to 6. 0 to 4. 1 to 0. Did we take the city? No? They're still too strong for us? Alright, well, I'll take the airfield at least. I'll take that prestige, please. Okay. So we took some casualties, but we did inflict some also on their Matilda there. It's a bit of a roadblock for us. 2 more objectives, although one of them is surrounded and about to fall. Alright, so they're going to attack again. Wow, they did some pretty bad damage there. Now they're going to pull back. See if their infantry crosses the river and tries to finish off that armored unit of ours. Okay. The reinforced infantry counterattacks there. Overrun. Alright, so we're moving our artillery into position here. I'm going to go for the anti-aircraft guns. So we drove them back. We'll take that airfield in Dunkirk that now encircles their troops in the front here. Meanwhile, at Lille, it's raining too, so I can't do anything with air anyway. Alright, so we took that objective. So we're at the gates of Dunkirk. Overrun them there. Come back over here and attack the Ack-Ack. I can't rebase. I can reinforce. It's about the only thing I can do at the moment. We actually have built up a fair amount of prestige, too. I know I had said buying more units, but I haven't done that yet, obviously. So move forward to turn number 15, I think we're moving toward. The enemy infantry is trying to break out by attacking our armor. That did not go well for them. 3 casualties, none for us. Artillery... Wait, there's naval gunfire support from, like, what looks like a patrol boat? Wow, their armor just kind of ripped apart our tanks there. What is all this shit off the coast? Are these patrol boats? What the hell are these things? God damn it. Alright. I'm assuming if I rebase here, I can reach Dunkirk, but that may not be a good assumption. Alright, so all of our air force is rebased. And our infantry has finished off the enemy anti-aircraft. Alright. So we'll attack the enemy anti-aircraft there, drove them back. Moved our armor into the rear. I guess I just have to move off the coast. That would be the smart thing to do. Alright, so we're right at the objective point. We just need a little bit of time. I don't think they have any... They do have one anti-aircraft gun near Dunkirk, but it's almost dead. Move my armor up here. So I really need like 3 turns probably to do this adequately. Let's see what their patrol boats do. How much of a nuisance they are. They're actually inflicting, like, killed casualties there. Anti-tank gun moving forward against our tanks. Hitting them pretty heavily. Jesus. It's expensive casualties there. Meanwhile, their infantry is attacking our tanks. Stay away from my artillery! Okay. It's cloudy. I'll have my infantry take the port there. We've now encircled Dunkirk. Granted, we are encircled ourselves. Alright, let's bombard these guys so we can actually do some damage. And then let's fly our Stukas forward here. There's no enemy anti-aircraft anymore. Okay. So our air is finally getting into action here. Alright, so we drove those enemy infantry back and encircled them. We'll move our other armor back here to try and... Okay, so we forced them to surrender. Nice. Alright, we destroyed that ground unit. Move our infantry up from the south. Leave these guys in Lille just to make sure they don't trick us or anything. I feel like I've lost a lot of units, but it doesn't actually... That might be a lot more perception than reality. My troops are weak. But I don't think many of them have actually died. You know, that looks like that might be a destroyer. That's hitting our troops that are in the port of Dunkirk now. What is my bonus objective again? Oh yeah, sink the enemy ships. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that. Wait, they kicked me out of the port? How'd they do that? Man, those grenadiers are just getting all sorts of medals here. I mean, yes, it would be nice to get a bunch of awards, but I'm more concerned with actually winning this battle first. Alright, let's destroy him. We'll take this French city for the prestige. Move these guys this way. We'll blast the hell out of these guys. Okay. All right. Elite reinforcements for those guys. So maybe next turn we can go for the enemy ships. It looks like we can hit the patrol boats this turn, but I also don't want to leave my bombers out there as sitting ducks for enemy fighters. Alright. Enemy fighters! Alright, let's shoot them down. 11, 12. Damn Spitfires. Can we get them? Yeah! Down goes a Spitfire. Alright, meanwhile, we'll hit these guys with Stukas. Ghost Army 8. Thank you for the follow. Actually, it was 18 minutes ago. I should try and retake some of these bases. Alright, let's actually try. Looks like we get 2 to 1. Pull that infantry back. We're just going to hit these guys hard with artillery to neutralize them. Not going to take the city quite yet. Oh, I drove him back into the objective point. Nice. And then I forced him to surrender. Alright. So it's going to be raining tomorrow, which means I'm not going to be able to use my Air Force. The hell's this? Landmines? The 33rd landmine! Okay. Alright, so move forward to turn number 19. Trying to bait these ships into coming in closer so I can hit them with my land units. The problem is the weather's going to be too bad, really. Damn British ships coming in close. Thanks, Eris. Appreciate the kind words. Alright, so it's cloudy. Nice, that artillery took them down. Alright, so I'll take the prestige for retaking that objective. Let's see if the enemy... Like, part of me just wants to move in and try and retake these cities and take one more turn. I just don't... Again, the problem is I don't know how to evaluate success in this game because it's not very clear how valuable those secondary objectives are. But obviously reinforcing my troops is certainly valuable. They're going to attack our tanks there. Now, losing a unit would not be worth it, I don't think. No, they surrendered! Literally right as I said that. $50 prestige is not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. Let's just take the damn base. Reinforce first. Victory! I don't know if it was a cruiser or a destroyer. I think it was a destroyer. All right. I wonder if there is a sea lion. I don't know. Maybe if you sink more of the ships, you get a sea lion scenario. I'm not quite sure. But that's a victory. So the next battle is Operation Vollrot. Germany launches Vollrot to completely knock the French out of the war. Panzer forces will be spread thin as they race across France to quickly seize as much territory as possible. Okay, so we have two options at this stage. We can either go with the attack on Dijon or Paris. Dijon is direct assaults against prepared defenses near Dijon, or Paris is a rapid blitzkrieg attack that bypasses enemy defenses needed at Paris. So you can kind of pick one or the other in this next scenario in your final capitulation of France. I'm guessing because I didn't destroy enough of those ships, we don't get a sea lion scenario. I don't even know if a sea lion scenario is built yet, but I would assume usually at least the way that Panzer Corps used to work, Panzer General used to work, is if you won Dunkirk decisively, then you got immediately next. Actually, I think it was if you win Dunkirk decisively and then you win Paris decisively, then you get sea lions. So maybe we could still have it. I'm not sure. Gonna go ahead and save the game. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and end this episode. Yet another 1 hour episode. These are long videos. I'll consider chopping them in half, but for the moment, we're leaving them as is, entire battles in a single episode. I'm going to go ahead and end this one. I hope you guys are continuing to enjoy the series. Please, as always, I know you don't hesitate to let me know what you're thinking, but please do let me know your thoughts down in the chat below. Is this something you're enjoying, you'd like to see more of? What are your thoughts of Panzer Corps II? All of the above, and just kind of keep me posted there. With that being said, though, I am going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope you guys are enjoying the series, as always. And as I like to say, until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.